Oh, ow! Aha! Beautiful! Doors all boarded up. Windows flex sealed. Is that a fire hazard? Oh well. Oh, hello. The reason why I'm doing all this safety precautions is I have a very good friend. He's one of my bestest pals I've known since high school, who's very passionate about a certain series, if you may. And I mean, I like the series too, but he puts it in a brand new level of passion, if you will. So I just decided to lock the whole house down in case he decides to interrupt in a way that may not be in my type of review style. So for today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about Super Smash Brothers.
Did somebody say Smash?
Oh, bother!
This is gonna be a smashing good time.
Hello and welcome everyone to the NerdThomas Show. Thank you guys for joining me for another fantastic episode. What can be said about the Super Smash Brothers series? It's incredible. It's a legendary franchise for Nintendo. The one game where we can have all of our favorite Nintendo franchises such as Mario, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Legend of Zelda, all of our favorites come together to just beat the everlasting crap out of each other. It's weird to have our favorite heroes fight each other for no reason. I mean, we have villains like Bowser and Ganon, but for our heroes to come in and beat up, it's weird, but it's that special fan service of fun to just see our favorite franchises come together and just have a jolly good beatdown. And one of the things I love about the Super Smash Bros. Series in particular is the gameplay. I am not a competitive gamer. I don't play fighting games that much. I mean, I love Soul Calibur 3 when it came out back in the day, but in terms of the whole fighting game genre, I don't play a whole lot of fighters. I may have dabbled in some Street Fighter with a few of my friends, but I don't play fighting games that often. But what I love about Smash Brothers is that it's very easy to get into the gameplay. It's very natural to learn the basic controls and moves and how to play Smash Brothers as a whole, but also fun and challenging to master all the different characters. All of them have their own unique playstyle. Sure, there are some that have some similarities to each other, but a lot of them have very different movesets that makes it fun and become challenging to master each moveset. And that's the one thing I love about Smash Bros. Is how easy it is to get into playing the gameplay. Yay! Oh yeah, and there's NerdThomas. He loves Smash Bros. Extensively. Say hi, NerdThomas.
I'm a guy holding a belt. I'm a champion, as this buff describes. Whatever. Smash Brothers.
And with the upcoming release of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Switch, I figured for today's episode, I go through all the Smash Bros. Titles and just talk about them. I'm not going to do a heavy in-depth analysis on each game. I just want to talk about them, what I think about the games, and which ones I prefer the most. They're all good games. I don't think there's a Smash Bros. Game I hate. I love all of them, but there's some I prefer for different reasoning. So for today's episode, we're going to look through all the Super Smash Bros. Titles and just share my thoughts on them. Yay! And what better place to start this retrospective than by taking a look at the first game. obviously. I mean, you can't just jump over to the next installment. Wait, I think I'm gonna contradict myself later, but regardless, I never really owned this game as a kid. In fact, I didn't really play any fighters. I mean, my dad had a copy of Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Killer Instinct Gold on his Nintendo system, but I never really played them. Well, I mean, they'll be too serious for a 5-year-old to play. But I remember him bringing this title home one day from coming back from town, and he figured that me and my brother would have a good time playing this. And I didn't really know anything about Super Smash Brothers. I didn't see like advertisements at all for it. So when we put in the game, I saw that there was a bunch of characters you could play right off the bat, and some of them I instantly recognized, such as Mario, Fox McCloud, and Pikachu, Donkey Kong, and a couple others, as well as some newcomers as well. This was my very first introduction to different Nintendo franchises, such as Link, Samus, Captain Falcon, and a couple others as well. And that's one thing I love about the Smash Bros. Series that I think is great for most people. If you're unfamiliar with like some of the franchises, like even if you play Nintendo games exclusively, but you never got a chance to play like Kirby or F-Zero or any other Nintendo franchises, then this is a great way to say, you know, I want to learn more about these characters, and the fact that they have trivias for a lot of these characters on like character bios or trophies or any other means to learn more about these franchises, it can open up a brand new door to possible future games that you could enjoy later on. In fact, without Moth and Roy in Smash Bros. Melee, we would have never got to see Fire Emblem in the United States. But anyway, back to the original Smash Bros. Here. I remember like these batch of characters, and I saw like Mario, Fox, Pikachu, and Luigi all in one game. That's so great! I can't wait, we're gonna be battling up Goombas and stopping Star Wolf and all that. But then when I immediately went into classic mode and saw that I was playing as these characters beating up each other, it was so weird to have these heroes fight each other for no reason. And then of course at the end of classic mode, I saw Master Hand, and I thought he was the scariest thing ever, like looming over, just having that maniacal laugh. It was very morbid, to say the least, to have that happen. But I remember enjoying playing it back in the day, and playing it now, it's still really good. It's still a fantastic game. It's short on content compared to the future titles that we would have trophies, more unlockable characters, just more unlockables in general. But for it to put the basis, the starting layout for what the Smash Bros. Series will be as it continues evolving, it's still a fun game, and it's still a classic 4-player game on the Nintendo 64. I still like playing it with some of my friends time to time. Plus, one thing I want to mention real quick is that if you ask me which is my favorite Super Smash Bros. Announcer, I'll have to say this one. I mean, I still love all the other announcers fine. We never had a bad Smash Bros. Announcer. Although personally for me, I just love the announcer for this game in particular. He just gets the blood pumping whenever he's on announcing the characters and saying go. I just love the announcer for this game. I think he's my personal favorite. He's like one of those coming Sunday Monster Truck Rally, and just to pump you up, it really does. He's probably my favorite announcer out of all the Smash Bros. Series. The next game I'm going to talk about is a classic for most people. It's one of my personal favorites on this system. It's a title that everyone loves to play.
Yes.
And that's Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Not Melee?
Yeah, yes, I know, technically Melee. Remember when I said I was going to contradict myself? This is what I was talking about.
Alright, I'm sure you'll talk about it soon, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in order. But alright, Brawl works too.
And there's a reason why I'm gonna talk about Brawl first. For you see, I never got to play Melee as a kid. I knew about Melee, I was excited to play it, but every time I tried to rent Melee, it was always sold out. No matter how many times of the week that me and my folks were going to a rental store, they were always sold out of Melee. So I never really got to play it, let alone really got my own copy of Melee, as there was many other GameCube, PS2 games that I was more excited to get than Melee. So it'll be close to about a decade before I will play another Smash Bros. Title. Again, I got my copy of Smash Bros. around high school, around that time frame, so I didn't really get to play another Smash Bros. Game until in 2008 when Brawl came into the scene. And I have to say, out of all the games that was talked about regarding Smash Brothers, I remember Brawl being the most hype. I was almost done with my elementary school years, entering into high school when Brawl was coming out, and all of my friends was talking about it. One of my friends kept bringing a guidebook and showcasing all about the secrets in Brawl. Whenever we were in the library, my friends would sometimes go to the Smash Brothers Dojo site that shows updates on the game. There was so much hype building around Brawl. Heck, at my local Blockbusters, they had this huge Smash Brothers Brawl poster hung up front of the building. And so for my birthday of that year, I got a Nintendo Wii system along with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And for me, jumping back onto Smash Bros. Without playing Melee, and after years of not playing the franchise, this was a fantastic game. I loved every single second of it. I loved all the characters that was in the game, quadruple in size compared to the original. There was so much new stuff in this game that I was so excited, that I really truly loved. While some of it was introduced in Melee, for me it was brand new for me at the time, such as All-Star Mode, where you fight all the fighters all at one go with one life, no continues, collecting all the trophies and stickers and music tracks in this game. There was so many trophies to collect. I even love that little coin arcade game where you can unlock more trophies and stickers. Granted, it ate all your quotas up, but I really loved doing that to see how many more new trophies and stuff I could get. There was also a story mode within this game called the Subspace Emissary. Granted, it's the easiest way to get most of the characters unlocked, but it was extremely epic, even though it can sometimes be a little bit odd, especially seeing the boss in the game, this weird, rejected electric Blue Man group member. But one thing I really remember about Smash Bros. Are the challenges. There are challenges that once you do something, like for example, if you complete All-Star Mode in very hard difficulty, or you play up to 20 hours of Smash, you get like a special trophy or sticker or song that you can only get when you complete that certain challenges. And some of these challenges are brutal. They were extremely brutal, but I remember spending hours, countless hours, playing, trying to get these challenges unlocked. It was fun, annoying, and difficult, and rage quit me a bit, but it was a lot of fun trying to get those challenges unlocked. And even to this day, Brawl is still a fun title to play, with so much content built within this game. I love it so much. But what about Melee, since this is technically the next game in the franchise? Well, it will be about 5-6 years when I started playing Brawl that I will eventually get to play Melee. And, well, I have to say, Melee is a good game, it's very good, but
don't you dare.
I kind of prefer Brawl just a little bit better. Tommy, please, don't be mad, boy. Please don't hurt your good buddy.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
Huh?
I'm not that big of a fan of Melee either. It's shocking. I know. Cue the torches and pitchforks.
Now, before anyone throws any wine bottles at the computer screen, let me say that Melee is a very good game. Not to mention the stuff that I loved from Brawl, I really loved in Melee, such as collecting trophies, a sort of story mode, even though it wasn't really that good in my opinion. The All-Star mode was introduced in this game. Heck, my main fighter that I play all the time in Smash was first introduced in this game. Seriously, if you ever played Smash Bros. With me, Mr. Game Watch is my go-to guy. And Melee, for what it is a solid fighting game. It improves so much upon the original. So why do I prefer Brawl more than this? Keep in mind, Melee's good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the game. It's just based on my personal preferences of what I want out of a game. For one, like I mentioned, the adventure mode was kind of lackluster. It wasn't that engaging. I mean, at the time, it was great, but after being spoiled by Subspace Emissary, it got kind of bland. But that's mostly based on me playing Brawl first instead of Melee. But the other two complaints, or two things I kind of have a nitpick with, is just mostly based on my personal taste. For one, visually this game looks alright. While some of the characters look fine, Others just look kind of weird. Like, I never really liked the art style they did for Fox, Peach, and Falco, and so many other characters. They just look very odd. Like, they have that weird early CG look to them that I think just make their character models or the looks sort of off for how I usually see Fox and so many other characters. It's not bad, but the art style just looks kind of weird a little bit. But the one thing about these two games that is night and day is the speed of the gameplay. Now, for some who probably don't play Smash Bros. Religiously compared to most people, may have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you took footage of Brawl and Melee back to back 60 frames per second, you can tell that Brawl is very slow paced. In fact, for most players who loved the Melee, disliked Brawl strictly because of the slow pace of the game, as well as some very unfair stuff in the game, such as the tripping, some of the characters' final smashes being broken, especially Sonic for me. Whereas Melee, on the other hand, is more for the competitive gaming scene. Everything is well balanced and tight, the speed is very quick and fluid, and there are different movesets that players can unlock that's not even explained in the manual, such as wave dashing. It's become the Smash Bros. Game to play if you're in the competitive scene. Heck, if you ever take a look at like Smash Brothers for like any of the gaming tournaments like EVO or the Major League Gaming scene, you'll most likely see Melee as it's the game that competitive gamers loves. And I will admit, it is fun to see competitive gamers playing Smash Brothers, seeing the characters all around the screen super fast like Speedy Gonzalez, and the way that they move the controllers around so quickly, it's fun to see. And there's nothing wrong with Melee speed, is still good. And while I know that Brawl has some unfair stuff, again with the tripping, some of the character movesets and final smashes are broken, but for me, Brawl was perfect for me, as again, I am not a competitive gamer. I don't play games competitively at all. Even though I'm really good at Mario Kart, I don't play competitively or even get engaged in competitive aspects of gaming, as I'm just not. I love to play games to have fun. And for Brawl, being the first Smash Bros. Title that I played over a decade after I played the first one years ago, was perfect for me to gradually get back into Smash Bros. Gameplay. Yes, it's slow paced, and I know to each game the controls can be different, but it still has that basic ideal of a platforming beat 'em up. And I think that's the best way to really look at this. If you're more of a competitive fighter that wants a game that's perfectly well balanced and fun to master, Melee is the game to go. But if you're one of those people that just wants to play a game to have fun, have some silly laughs, and not get too serious into a fighting game, Brawl is perfect. And I do like Melee. I think the stuff that Melee did, especially guaranteeing some of the behind the scenes aspects, I appreciate, and I think it's a really fun game. But for me, based on my personal preferences that I love out of the game, and I'm again not a competitive person, I liked the Brawl just a little bit better. Or at least that's just my opinion. I know some people can disagree, but can we all just get along and respect others' opinions? Whatever happened to those good old days? But I know there's some people out there that wants a middle ground, a game that is competitive but also is fun for casual players as well. Because let's face it, Brawl geared to more casuals, and then Melee geared towards more the competitive side of things. And that's where these two come into play. The Wii U version and 3DS versions of Smash Bros. Are both fantastic, and I think perfectly balances the line between having that speed that's fast in the Brawl, but not as fast as Melee. And I think this line of balancing out the game speed and balancing out some of the characters' movesets, as some of the final smashes are different for other cast members compared to what they were back in Brawl, that helps balance the line out to being fair but still really fun for casuals to mess about in. Although for this one, I'm talking more about the Wii U version. I played some with the 3DS and it's fun, but I don't play it as much as, well, my main issue being I'm afraid of breaking the C-stick on the 3DS when I play Smash. Heck, it has happened a couple of times, not saying it happens so often, but I will say that the 3DS version is really good. Plus, being able to take Smash Bros. On the go, which we will be able to in December of this year, is a fun idea, and something that I think is the true love of the 3DS version, is the fact you can take it on the go with you and have fun and all that. Though I will say I wish there were some stages in the 3DS version that were in the Wii U version and vice versa. Like I love the Pac-Man stage in the 3DS, and then this Pac-Man stage we got on Wii U. Ugh. But the Wii U version is fantastic. I absolutely love this game. It's one of my personal favorite Wii U games, and there's a lot to love about this title. More particularly having up to 8 players all at once on one battlefield. While you can't play 8 fighters on all the stages, being able to just have 8 players at once playing Smash is mind-boggling. Even though you can lose track of your character when you're combined into a tiny stage, it's like, where am I at in the mix of all this mess? The customizable characters isn't really a strong point for me, but it's still fun if you want to just make your own custom character if you think that maybe Pikachu can have a bit more strength or vice versa. Not to mention, this was the first Nintendo game to use amiibos. I'd done a video about it years ago, and I'll probably redo that video next year as my collection has skyrocketed compared to back then. And overall, it's a tight game. I think they did a really great job of improving from Brawl, because again, I do acknowledge there is some unfair gaming aspects in Brawl, and I think this version helps balance out those issues very well, and I think it's just perfect. Although there is some stuff looking back at it that I didn't really care too much for. Like again, I didn't care much for the character customization, but I know there's some people that can really get into that. In terms of brand new modes, there's not really a whole lot that really piqued my interest. I enjoyed the Master and Crazy Orders fine, but Smash Tour I just thought was forgettable. I did not like it. I would have liked it to see a story mode in this one, but I know back when Brawl came out, the whole Subspace Emissary campaign was leaked online, and I know Sakurai just didn't want that to happen, but even with the new stuff that didn't really spike my interest, it's a fantastic fighter and it's definitely worth getting for your Wii U collection. I know technically a lot of people will be gearing towards Ultimate more, but for those who still love your Wii U's like I do, it's a title that you must have. In fact, all the Smash Bros. Games are fine. Yes, I have mentioned that I may prefer one title more than another, but all the games for what they are still really good. We've come a long way since the original Smash Bros. From starting out with 12 characters to now having over 70 fighters, which is insane, and the amount of love and respect that Masahiro Sakurai and his team has made for the whole Smash Bros. Series is something to truly admire. This man has worked his butt off, making sure each game is perfect to his perfection. Granted, he has gone through serious crap, having to push himself to get these games done. It's just insane, and I think the love and talent that him and his team did is incredible. So while there are titles that I prefer more than others, I think all the Smash Bros. Games are amazing, they're all great. Regardless of what your favorite Smash Bros. Title is, which one you prefer more, let's just all agree that Smash Bros. Is a wonderful franchise that we hope to see last even longer, even after Ultimate. I'm not sure if we'll get another Smash Bros. When the next Nintendo system comes out. Ultimate may be that perfection that Sakurai is looking for, but regardless, Super Smash Bros. Is a wonderful franchise for Nintendo, and it's one that is a wonderful tribute to just the whole video game industry, from having non-Nintendo franchises such as Monster Hunter, Metal Gear, and other characters coming to join in the fight. It's such a fantastic tribute to just video games in general, and it's just a perfect love letter to not just Nintendo fans, but also to the video game industry as a whole. Whew, that was a lot of games to talk about. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today, folks. So if you would like to leave your thoughts on Super Smash Bros., regardless which game is your favorite, comment below. Are you more of a melee fighter, or do you prefer the Wii U version, 3DS, Brawl, N64? They're all great games regardless of which one is your favorite. But you let me know what your thoughts on the Super Smash Bros. Series are as a whole. Thank you guys for watching this. God bless you, and I will see you all on the next Dale Marshall episode. Bye bye! Although if you excuse me, I must get ready for the next competition against NerdThomas.